Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the House of the Dragon. Full disclosure, this probably isn't going to be in the upcoming patch for you guys. This is just another scenario that I've created for myself using a submod called More Bookmarks, which I'll leave in the description for you, but I can't guarantee if it'll work. For the years of modding, not through Crusader Kings, but the same principle, you really don't want to take something brand new and then apply a bunch of submods onto it, because it tends to break. So I can't guarantee this will work. You can use submods at your own caution, ladies and gentlemen. But we are playing as Aegon, the first of his name, the Conqueror, the man, the Chad, the legend from the Isle of Dragonstone, where we are ruling with our sister wives, Visenya Targaryen and Rhaenys Targaryen, sitting in the throne room and plotting the conquest of Westeros. A cloud of ravens bursting from the towers of Dragonstone to bring Lord Aegon's word to the 7 kingdoms of Westeros. To each of the 7 kings they flew, to the citadel of Old Town, to lords both great and small. All carried the same message. From this day forth there will be but one king in Westeros. Those who bend the knee to me would keep their titles and lands. Those who took up arms against me will be thrown down, humbled, and destroyed. Aegon Targaryen would bring fire and blood to Westeros, but after, he would give them peace, prosperity, and justice. Until his descendants ruined everything, but that's neither here nor there. With only 9,000 men, King Aegon is greatly outnumbered. But Aegon has the weapons of old Valyria, fire made flesh. He has dragons. Balerion, the Black Dread, a beast of tremendous size able to swallow mammoths whole. His sister, Visenya, rides the dragon Vhagar, while his sister Rhaenys rides the dragon Meraxes. Together they are the 3 heads of the dragon, with Aegon taking for himself, in the style of Westerosi lords, a banner with a field of black and a 3-headed red dragon, breathing flame, taking for themselves the words of fire and blood. HBO would have you believe that Aegon had a dream, which is Targaryens. Yeah, the reason the Targaryens are alive is because the dreamer had a dream that Valyria was going to explode, so they left Valyria, and that's why the Targaryens are alive, because they had a dream. So it's not out of the realms of possibility that Aegon had a dream about the coming of the White Walkers and the Long Night and how Westeros needed to be united, but personally I think it was plain old human ambition. I think a far better version of the story is that ultimately when Aegon finished conquering the 7 kingdoms and he came to the Starks of Winterfell, Torrhen Stark bent the knee, handed Aegon his crown, and told him that Westeros must be united, because winter is coming. And Aegon believed the man, because he saw not an ounce of falsehood in his eyes. Because Torrhen Stark had had a dream. He was a Greenseer, as his first men blood held powerful magic. Aegon, with magic of his own in his blood, believed the once King of Winter. Offering him a hand and helping him to his feet, they discussed the future of a united Westeros. And down the lines, Aegon's descendants just decided that no, it was nothing to do with the Starks. It was all Aegon's idea. Because, you know, hubris. I choose to believe that it was the Starks that told Aegon about the Song of Ice and Fire, about the future and the Long Night and the threats beyond the wall. I choose to believe because that is a way better story than Aegon did it all. It was all Aegon. It was just Aegon, yeah. Either out of hubris, pride, or the belief that their descendants were more likely to believe it if it came from the Conqueror as opposed to coming from the savages in the north. If it was the Conqueror's dream and not the barbarians, then perhaps the descendants would believe and remember. Until they all kill each other in the Dance of Dragons, and then everyone forgets about it, at least, so, you know, that's a thing. But, I digress. Without further ado, we will jump into this, and begin Aegon's conquest. Setting sail from the Isle of Dragonstone, and landing at the mouth of the Blackwater Rush. Aegon will sail across the waters, and go straight over here. Over here, there he is. The site of King's Landing, although currently it is simply the Aegon Fort. A small wooden fort raised by the Conqueror when he landed, serving as the central administration center for the young realm. Despite its modest state, thousands have flocked outside its walls, giving rise to a small city around it. The birthplace of King's Landing, ladies and gentlemen. Though it can't be said that Aegon did not try at least a diplomatic approach, he did send an offer to the Storm Kings, suggesting the King's princess, for his own bastard brother. Allegedly bastard brother, I should say. Oris Baratheon. The Storm King, however, had the envoy's hands cut off, sent them back to Aegon, and declared that these are the only hands you will receive. And so Aegon set sail. Yep, here comes the Ironborn to try to stop us from landing. It would not go well for them. Oh, it's King Harren. Is Aegon gonna, like, dismount from Balerion and go duel Harren? Yep. Go on, give me the king to fight. Captured Valyrian Steel Sword. Ah, Darkland. Such an act would bring dishonor to us. We are ambitious, but Aegon would beat down his enemy, but he would help them back up afterwards. He was not an asshole, completely. They are just going to continuously throw troops at us. The Ironborn cannot hold us back, lads. And in celebration, we have banged both of our sister wives. Ah, Visenya killed the Prince of the Iron Islands. Excellent, atta girl. There you go. We'll march from castle to castle, demanding fealty from the local lords. Still beating back the Ironborn, who are stupid enough to come attack me. Yeah, you better run. Alright, let's go to Stokesworth. Hey, Rhaenys has a son, ladies and gentlemen. So is born Aenys Targaryen? Aenys Targaryen? I want to say Aenys Targaryen. Someone will violently correct me in the comments if I'm incorrect. Aenys Targaryen. It's like Ares, but not. So, yeah. Ah! And similarly, young... I know exactly who this is. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Maegor. He's a good lad. A good lad. Prince Maegor is born to Visenya. Yield now, and you may remain as Lord of the Iron Islands, Aegon said. Yield now, and your sons will rule after you. I have 8,000 men outside your walls. What is outside my walls is of no concern to me. Those walls are strong and thick. Harren the Black spat. But not so high as to keep out dragons. Dragons fly. Aegon was said to have only smiled at the old king. When the sun sets, your line shall end. After leaving the meeting with the Dragon Lord and retreating back into his colossal castle, Harren the Black is said to have put a bounty on Aegon's head, declaring to all that would hear him of how, had he a daughter, the Dragon Slayer could claim her hand as well. Instead, I will give the man one of Tully's daughters, or all three if he likes. Or he may pick one of Blackwood's whelps, or Strong's, or any girl born of these traitors of the Trident, these lords of yellow mud. For no king in Westeros was as feared as Harren the Black. Although that very, very, very quickly changed, ladies and gentlemen. I stand before the walls of Harrenhal, my dragon Balerion at my side, my men surrounding the holding, and defenders trapped within, cowering behind their tall walls. While we could doubtless force them to surrender with enough time, no wall can protect them from dragonfire. It is not without risk, but I could ride Balerion to unleash his flames upon the castle and bring this siege to a much quicker end. Naught shall be left but ash and ruin. And so Harrenhal is burnt, ladies and gentlemen, with all of Harren's line dying inside, but technically apparently not. There's technically like 2 left. I will go burn the rest of them, don't you worry. We'll finish what we started. The cannon must be upheld! The cannon must be upheld! Quickly, Aegon, fly! Fly to the castle, Aegon. Almost done, lads. We have almost finished this. There's 3 of them left alive. One of them is just wandering around, actually. And one of them is the Lord Commander on the wall. Ooh, I got wounded during that one. But, there you go. The Hoars are completely dead. The line of Harren the Black dies in Harrenhal, ladies and gentlemen. As far as the world is concerned, apparently there is one dude just wandering around the place that's completely unrelated to anybody else, but is also on Dragonstone for some reason. I can invite him to my court. Okay. And with the end of House Hoar, the Ironborn will bend the knee, ladies and gentlemen. House Greyjoy rises to be the Lord Paramount of the Iron Islands after the Ironborn vote amongst themselves. And Aegon basically shows mercy to any lord that he's captured, earning their respect and becoming, you know, one of their people. He is not a ruthless man, not a tyrant, ladies and gentlemen. He will conquer Westeros and he will take your crown, but he will help you back up afterwards. House Tully needs to be rewarded. Who gets Harrenhal? That's a good question. Ah, I know exactly who gets Harrenhal, actually. House who I can never frickin' pronounce, but is insanely cool. Coharis? Coharis? I don't know. These lads are extremely cool. And they need to be given Harrenhal. Tully, as one of the few river lords to join Aegon's side when he attacked Harren the Black, and the one to rally the river lords to his cause against the Ironborn, will be granted the Lord Paramountcy of the Riverlands, including the new Lord of Harrenhal, Quinton of House Cuares. Cuares. I can never say this correctly, or I don't know if it is correct. Again, someone will violently correct me in the comments. That's fine. But yeah, they are incredibly cool. They have the, like, most badass, they have one of the most badass sigils ever. Just 4 skulls with a flaming cross to represent the sons of Harren the Black, all burned and killed. So, yeah. Harrenhal is admittedly a ruin, but in time it can be rebuilt. And honestly, I kind of want to do a series as these guys at some point. It would be really cool. The next order of business, lads, other than the fact that Aegon needs to not be mortally wounded, is moving on the Stormlords and sending Orys Baratheon down south to deal with the Storm King himself. In light of Aegon's injuries from the battles with the Ironborn scum, ladies and gentlemen, Orys Baratheon will take charge of the war against the Stormlords. And we will rally the troops directly from the Red Keep, or what will be the Red Keep, eventually. Yep, I think Rhaenys went with Orys, so Rhaenys and Orys Baratheon will head for Storm's End. And Aegon is slightly fucking crazy. Starts telling people about the ice and fire. Have you heard about the ice? Have you heard about the fire? Have you heard about the fire? Yennefer, have you heard about the ice and fire? Have you heard about the ice and fire, Yennefer? He's a good dog. Yes. Victory is achieved. Have you heard about the ice and fire, lads? Have you heard? Have you heard the word? Storm's End, I have come to tell you about the word. Have you heard about the word? Ice and fire is the word, Baratheon. I have come to tell you the good word. Aegon's gone completely in batshit loopy. We have a daughter. Did they ever have a daughter? I don't think they ever did. I think they had a kid each. Yeah, as far as the canon's concerned, Aegon only ever had 2 kids. In canon, ladies and gentlemen, the Storm King is defeated in single combat at the Battle of the Last Storm. With Rhaenys on her dragon and Orys Baratheon outnumbered but not outmatched, he strikes down the King of Storm's End, and the line of Durrandon dies with him. Continuing, however, through his daughter, who marries Orys Baratheon, and the man takes the sigil and words of House Durrandon for himself. The young princess marries Orys the Hurricane Baratheon, keeping the Baratheon name. They will go on to be Aegon's most loyal supporters, and Orys will serve as the first hand of the king. Next order of business is the Reach, ladies and gentlemen, who traditionally... Oh, my armies are already raised, apparently. I have armies raised? Question mark? Traditionally, the Gardeners allied with the Lannisters of the Rock, and that's how we got the Field of Fire, because they all burnt. It was the one time in the war where all 3 dragons were unleashed upon the enemy. The one time in the war. I had a dream, Gardeners. I had a dream that there was a HBO show that was excellent, but then became progressively worse, and then ended on the wet fart of a finale. I've come to tell you about my dream. This is Highgarden, by the way. HBO, are you listening? Look, this is closer to Highgarden than what Highgarden should look like, not what the hell you gave us. Gardener is extra fucked, because they don't even have the Lannisters to help them this time around. Did I capture Hightower? I don't know. Doom delivered. Oof. The Field of Fire, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Queen Rhaenys kicked some ass. This will be remembered as one of the most decisive military victories in the realm's history. Thanks to the heroic actions of Queen Rhaenys on Dragonback, the enemy leadership has been devastated. Well, different location for the Field of Fire this time around, ladies and gentlemen, but the line of House Gardener is ended. As Aegon turns his army around and marches on the capital of Highgarden, the Tyrells meet him there, the stewards of Highgarden and House Gardener for generations, opening the gates of their great citadel and bending the knee to Aegon Targaryen, to be risen up as Lord Paramounts of the Reach. Much to the annoyance of the other lords who were more powerful and had better claims. So... yeah, that's a thing. The Tyrells will basically go through their entire reign of the Reach very precariously because all of their bannermen are just sitting there going, you bastards, we deserve that throne. Now in canon, ladies and gentlemen, the Lannisters were on the Field of Fire, but in this instance it appears that they were in fact not. For some reason, they allied with King Torrhen in the north, rather than allied with the rest of them. Regardless, we will march on the rock and they will bend the knee or die. Come here, little kitty. Come out and play. Come here. They are fecked. I don't even need frickin' dragons anymore. The Lannisters are just doomed. Go to the Vale. Ah, the Starks have actually shown up. That's fine. The Starks want to play House. Oh god, they picked the wrong time to play House. Queen Rhaenys, again, on Meraxes. Meraxes just kicked ass, dude. Lord Bolton was incinerated. Lord Hornwood was incinerated. Lord Mormont was incinerated. Brandon Stark was incinerated. Also, Jorah Stark was incinerated, Torrhen Stark was severely and badly burnt, and Brandon Snow was also incinerated. Torrhen should have bent the knee, dude. Should have bent the knee. He had to tell us about the ice and fire, lads. And now he is just fire. Aegon the Insane. What? Preposterous. I'm not sane. I mean insane. I'm perfectly sane. Madness! Just because I keep telling people about the fucking ice zombies and they just keep... like, it's the ice zombies, dude. They're coming. The Song of Ice and Fire. I'm not crazy. Everybody else is just stupid. Just every single lord that Aegon is defeating and then releasing, he's telling about the Song of Ice and Fire and telling them that the ice zombies are coming, and it's just gone around the realm that he's completely fucking insane. He's not actually, like, crazy. It's just everyone he tells about this just fucking doesn't believe him. They all just think he's loopy. We'll march on the Mountain of the Vale, and then we'll march on the north afterwards. The north of which is, not, again, thrilled. Now in the books, Visenya sort of flew to the Eyrie, and basically said, I will burn all of you if you do not frickin' bend the knee. Bring it on, Aarons. Should have hit in the Vale, dude. You had one advantage, which was the Vale, and you're not using it. It was Rhaenys again, though. Oh no, it was fucking... It was both. Jesus, that's brutal. How many people died? Okay, so Meraxes sent out ferocious war, sending the troops running in all directions, our own soldiers taking advantage of the situation, crushing the opposition. Alright, let's go fly up to the Eyrie. We'll offer Lord Aaron a ride on our dragons. He's smart, he'll surrender. Oof. Burning the Aarons fucking also happened to incinerate Jonas, Prince Jonas, and Ronald is severely burnt. So, yeah. Very nearly, like, really badly burnt, actually. Wait, did I ruin the Eyrie? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. The Eyrie got actually completely destroyed? Wait, what? Holy, did Visenya just burn, like, I didn't do that. I didn't pick that option. I'm pretty sure Visenya just fucking burnt the Eyrie entirely. Yeah, Vhagar. Vhagar just fucking burnt the Eyrie to ash. Okay, well, that's a thing that just happened. Next on the menu is the Starks of Winterfell, who have already tasted our fire once and already lost a lot of people. I don't know how Torrhen's gonna feel about this. He should really bend the knee if he's smart, but he'll probably won't do it. Tasted Dragonfire once, goddammit. Don't do this. Don't make me do this. Let's see how Stark fares against the second time that he faces us. Yeah, I have two of his sons in prison, for Christ's sake. He should really give up. Now is the time to bend the knee, Torrhen. I became best friends with Tully. He will help us. He lays siege to Winterfell. Hopefully Visenya doesn't burn Winterfell to ruins. Yeah, see, it definitely wasn't me, because that option doesn't destroy it and make it a ruin. That was entirely Visenya just burning shit. The last and final order of business, ladies and gentlemen, other than giving frickin' Aegon some perk point, is to turn our eyes south to the Kingdom of Dorne, or the Principality of Dorne, I suppose. And actually, the old frog woman isn't in charge, because she did basically turn Rhaenys away and say, "This is Dorne, you are not welcome here, return at your peril." In this reality, Aegon will just beat the living crap out of the Dornish. Honestly, Targaryens going to Dorne just never ends well. No, they're going there. Every time. They always go for Blackhaven. Every single time. And Vhagar is already busy beating the living shit out of the Martos. I'm dueling the Prince of Dorne. Strike, parry, riposte. There you go, victorious. Confidence is half of any fight, and I throw out fluid, quick slashes and all the confidence of a seasoned expert. I just imagine fucking in the middle of a battle, Aegon just lands, the Black Dread hops off its back, and by hops off I mean he falls like 50 stories, because it's a massive dragon. Somehow survives the fall, because he's a Giga Chad. Probably does like a drop roll on like, you know, Elden Ring style or some bullshit, and basically Jules the Martell Prince wins and he surrenders at the battlefield. Unifying Westeros under the rule of House Targaryen with fire and blood. It's only right that he gets given his proper title, the Conqueror. So there's something I saw in the content creator Discord thing, and I just want to see if I can make it happen, to see if it's actually real. I think someone's like pulling my leg or something. Or my enemies to Ash. My lord, what are you doing? I hardly pay him any mind as I switch. Drinking that cup will not transform you into a dragon. It will only transform you into a corpse. Silence, maester! Smack. I know what I'm doing. I am king. It did not work. Aegon must succeed. This is part of the prophecy of the Ice and Fire, goddammit. Have I told you about the prophecy of the Ice and Fire? It requires Aegon to drink wildfire. That's the fire part of the prophecy, goddammit. It makes perfect sense when you don't think about it. I am going to give up at some point. But it's definitely a thing. It's a thing that exists. I think it's like they've probably made it like a 0.01% chance that it's actually working. Or I'm being fucking trolled. I might be getting trolled. I don't know. But it does give me an idea for like a series where I play as Aerys. Like Aerys turns into a dragon, dude. He drinks wildfire, turns into a dragon. Bright Flame was onto something all along, like the entire time he was onto something, dude. It's either complete bullshit. Yeah, it's either like such a low % chance that it's just never gonna happen, or I'm being trolled. But one of those things is happening right now. It's one of those cases where I'm like, just one more try, and I'll turn into a dragon. All right, I give up. I give up. Aegon is not turning into a dragon. He's not mad. The Ice and Fire prophecy is real. You just think he's mad because you're confused. He's not mad. Go to hell. And Aegon spent much of his time consolidating his power, going on trips throughout the realm, seeing his lords, and at one point moved his court to back to Dragonstone while the Red Keep was under construction. Aegon honestly kept good relations with the entire realm, more or less. He was focused very much so on unifying them all and confirming his position as king of Westeros and making sure everyone was, you know, remember I have dragons, basically. But in a friendly Aegon kind of way. As he seemed really focused on adopting the Westerosi customs. So, like, taking the banner of House Targaryen. Valyrians didn't have banners in the sense that the Westeros families have banners. They didn't have mottos. Mottos and sigils and stuff were all very Westerosi. So, prior to the conquest, the Targaryens didn't have the three-headed dragon. That's all Aegon. That's all part of his forming to the local customs kind of thing that he did. His realm was more or less peaceful, honestly. Hence the Dragon's Peace. It was probably the greatest era of peace Westeros had known in, like, forever. Considering the petty kingdoms were always at each other's throats. There were those who wished to return to the old ways, of course, but ultimately, I mean, fucking that. You gonna fuck with that? I ain't gonna fuck with that. Nope. Aegon's children would have less of a peaceful time ruling the realm, however, as things would start to fall apart once the Conqueror finally died. I think of a heart attack at like 69 or something, ironically. Where, I always found interestingly, Blackfyre was buried with Aegon, until Maegor later dug it up and took it for himself. And I honestly believe that Aegon knew that the sword had become a symbol of kingship, and Aegon wanted it buried with him, so that it stopped becoming a symbol of the kingship. It was all the dream, lads. It was all part of the dream. He had the dream. He knew that the Black Dragon would rise one day from Blackfyre. So he had the sword buried with him, but he didn't know that his son would dig up his grave and take it back. But yeah, no, frickin', we might do the events of Aegon's children, basically, potentially. Because there is some cool stuff, like the Faith Militant Uprising could be kind of fun. But then the dragons do kind of trivialize that kind of stuff, if I don't have dragons to fight with. That said, Maegor does fight with his nephews at some point for his claim on the Iron Throne, so maybe we'll do that. But theirs is a story for another video, ladies and gentlemen, and I will perhaps do one. This was Aegon the Conqueror, his tale of ice and fire, his dreams! 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 He wasn't crazy, he was just following the dreams. I don't know. I still believe my tale about Torrhen Stark informing him of this is a better version of events than just simply that Aegon had a dream. Whatever the truth of the matter is lost to time, as his descendants tore each other apart and burnt the realm that Aegon so vigilantly tried to unite. The House of the Dragon would go on for 100 years, until the dragons themselves dwindled and the dance burned them all to ash. Magic faded from the world, and so did the Targaryens. All but a few. And Aegon's dream came to fruition, and then was defeated in one episode in a very poorly lit room. But I thank you for watching. That is all for now. We'll wrap this up here, and perhaps have a continuation of Aegon's children and the Faith Militant Uprisings, or even Maegor's war against his nephew, Aegon, and the claim for the Iron Throne. There's definitely things to do, and I just have to set them all up. And I will see you guys there. Again, thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, click on all the buttons. You know where they are. You don't need me to tell you. That is all for now. Soul out.
This war is far from over.